Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, covering Season 73 5 vs 5 Grand Arena Championship Week 3. I am joined by my fellow co-hosts live. I'm here with Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal, and of course, all of you out there. So yeah, we did this at the end of the previous 3 vs 3 season. You guys liked it. We enjoyed doing it, so we're back. As far as getting into business, my week 3, yeah, it was 1 and 2. I started off with Herbert, lost him for the third time this season. It hurts. It hurts. Then I had an Erodium, and then I had a great match with Sasha at the end, in which I did lose by 1 banner. And yeah, it was a good one. Good fight. Anyways, Dagger, on to you. How was the week? Wait, don't say anything. I have to make sure your audio is on, and it wasn't. All right, speak now.
All right, calm down, Taylor Swift.
Gotcha.
I went 2 and 1.
All right. No other details to include.
I cleared the front wall on my third round opponent, and then had other crap come up because it's Thanksgiving week here in America.
That it is.
And my partner's putting belt to ass on everybody to make sure that we're hosting this year. So it's belt to ass.
Nice. Yeah, I just got the chat on, and hi everybody in the chat. Normally I'd greet you all individually, but we'll not belabor the VOD with all of that. But yes, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. And remember, we will get to questions later in the stream. We were able to do that last time, so we'll move through our agenda. And yeah, with our remaining time, we'll take as many questions from the audience as we can. On to you, TJ. How was your week?
I did it backwards, man. I actually got a 2 and 1 this week and a very stringent round 3 where my favorite defense was all the attack and then they stopped. So I was super stressful.
On to you, Sasha. How was the week?
Yeah, how was the week, Sasha? How was your GAC, Sasha?
Well, it's like perfunctory intro. Yeah, well,
I do what I must.
It was great. You'll never guess what the highlight was. But
Do
yeah,
tell.
I went 2 and 1. It was honestly, the match with Tass was a ton of fun. I was hosting a family birthday party that night, so I couldn't join for the live stream. But I got 666 points in before Tass attacked, just trying to set a little bit of a tone for you, and then had a very eventful last few battles to finish it off. Happy to share more on that when we get to it, but that was a lot of fun, Tass. A lot of fun.
I just want to comment that Tass was quick in there to bring that devilish bullshit dad joke during his live stream as well. So he did comment on the fact you did that. So I just wanted to comment on Tass and shame on you.
Yeah, no, you can't shame me. It's not possible. But yes, on to you then, Fatal. How was the week? How did the plan go?
Overall, pretty good. It felt like a potential 2 and 1 performance, though. Match 3 just went shitty in all sorts of weird ways, somehow out of my control. But I apparently have the mandate of heaven to go take first place because my opponent did not complete their attacks aside from 1 battle. So, hooray for the holidays, I assume.
Sounds good. All right, guys, let's move in to the regular agenda immediately. So, the meta-analysis, and then we'll talk about our favorite attacks and defenses as well in there, because we usually don't have too much new. I will say that I attempted a Bad Batch 2 versus Hondo in round 1 versus Herbert. And yeah, I suspected at the time that I kind of misplayed it. And now when I check back with my DM from Fatal after that, Fatal did share some notes. He said, generally, Omega, you want to self-cast the heals. Self-cycling her cleanse and second special is valuable. Wrecker going into captive isn't the end of the world since he comes back near instantly. It also works well to get him in stealth against Omega. Andrew Omega didn't steal stealth from him. His Hondo, for whatever reason, didn't do anything threatening, but the flow of the fight just looked disrupted from you having riposte and doing the second special from Fugitive Omega first. Next point was always use Hunter Spear over basic since it offers permanent ramp even after resetting on Vayne. So that is something I wasn't doing. You guys were watching me use basics because I was trying to save it for when it felt like it would be a decisive moment to land the spear as opposed to just ramping the spear. And then he says there were some spots where Omega's second special giving turn meter would have helped you remain in control, as well at a couple different timestamps. It would have given me 10% turn meter normally, but 30% chance with crit chance up, which she did have. Okay. He said that the fight looked good until about 32 minutes, 1 second, and I lost a lot of tempo having to have Omega use the smoke, the second special again, where smoke push would have let you keep tempo going into the kill sequence. I'm not sure I'm clear on that last point.
You all of your buttons were unavailable.
My specials were down.
Yeah, you had to use basic, but if you had smoke to push everyone by 50% turn meter, you were in pretty good shape.
Got it. Yeah, so all right, I burned it too soon. Makes sense. So, as I expected, it was misplayed. And even then, though, I mean, it's a tough fight. Not that using Slacker helped me in the third round against Sasha, where I just got belted out in the exact way that you hoped not to. The AI did choose to punk down Dre, and then Slacker was pretty easy to fold right after. Thankfully, I had Seer Malikos to clean that up. Otherwise, that would have been the end of it right there. As far that's kind of it for me. I want to say, Sasha did offer me one treat. He set a Queen Amidala team with the new Xeris Cron in it. New Xeris Healer, long text level 6. I forget if you had bulk or turn meter on the 3, but looking at it, I was really inches away from using Bane against that team, and in the end, I decided to go with Lord Vader so that I could have permakill ideally, and that probably was the right thing to do. It did make going against Java more difficult. That ended up being a problem.
If we're talking about Hondo, I hoed myself out a little bit against one because I I made a mistake in my sequencing and then timed out due to the lag. Right, so I lost the train, I regained the train, had all, like, to Fatal's point, had all my buttons up, and I was going to finish it off, and then, or I was going to have the ability to then, pink them all down in order, because I had, 31 stacks the moment I killed Vayne with, 3 seconds left. I was like, okay, everybody's going to die, and then the timer hit 0 because of the stupid fucking lag. But yeah, I definitely punted that in the sense that I lost the train because I'm a dipshit. Similar things to what Fatal said. But yeah. The other one I played on my phone, and after about, a minute of playing that fight, my app just closed, which was fun.
And you were delighted by the experience, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think I was going to win that one. Again, unclear. I had the train pretty well locked in. I fucked it up early. The other thing about Bad Batch, I don't know if Fatal can speak on this, but I feel like the counter is actually relatively forgiving if you fuck up exactly once.
It depends on what you'd call fucking up. So basically, what I said to Tass at the start of the week, and then ironically, my next round immediately spat at his face. My general view of the flow of the fight is you go infinite once, and then Hondo probably gets to ult, and you go back on Vayne, and then you reset, you go infinite twice, and then Hondo ults again, and they all come back again. And it's like every time that you wipe them out, you pull ahead incrementally, and so by the time you kill them the third time, the expectation is that you can kill Hondo, and he just doesn't get a chance to ult you. Every time you wipe them, you pull ahead slightly. I don't know if it's just because of Omega Smoke Bomb plus the original Omega pushing turn meter that you just, he resets the board, you reset the board, but you cheated up in turn meter slightly, so you're just kind of pushing you're creeping up on him, trying to just like cheat back his team every time, and you're like, gaining yards on him, or but then my second round and very nearly my third round had extremely violent, very fucking fast wins. Like Hondo, I don't even think got to ult once in my second round. Or he might have like ulted before I got to kill them, but like once Vayne was down, sides were down, Hondo just died. Like straight up. So actually, now that I think about it, I think the Vayne was just very high quality. My crosshair had like 60 stacks, and I was just like, it wasn't like I will kill Hondo now. I was just like, I'll spend the nuke now so that I can start. The first nuke. Once you use the first nuke, then the second nuke has the stacking mechanic. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll put it on Hondo. It doesn't matter who I put it on. He died immediately. It was like, oh, I guess that's game, set, match. All right, cool. Weirdly enough, I think the better the Vayne is, the better off you were. Because, having 60 target practice to just bring to bear on someone else immediately was a lot better than I was really expecting. And I almost had that happen exactly again in the third match, but Wrecker went down and like the fight just flipped when I was like one turn away from him cashing it all out. I did not do Relic 10 Wrecker this week, and I am pretty damn confident that if I did Wrecker instead of Baron, I would not have dropped this week. I think Wrecker continues to be the like you want him to hold the line. They literally can only hit him.
All right. I don't know if you just cut off there. Yeah, that's well, here's the $1 million question. What do you think about the new set, and what do you think about the replacement Datacron for Rolo to go with that counter going forward?
I thought we weren't doing the in-between episode.
Well, I suppose that's a fair topic for the in-between. Yeah. I mean, it's what we're talking about, but we can cover that later.
I'll bet you it'll be an attacker cron.
Situational. I'll leave that as a stinger for the in-between. Situation.
Yeah.
We'll cover that then.
Yeah. Have a lot to say about that. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Well, that's my share on Pirate King. Does DJ Sasha have anything to add in there new about fighting it this week? I know you probably use Slacker against mine. I guess if you're trying to jam up people's Slacker in 5 versus 5, what do you think sets yours apart? Do you have specialized modding? Is that cron? I think you have it skewed more towards heavy armor penetration, but what do you think the secret was to jamming up Slacker? Because I had a bulk level 3, I think maybe another 20-30% health on the stat, and then a bunch of armor penetration, offense, crit damage, the long text level 6, FOSF 9, and
don't worry,
still lost.
Sasha, I got you on this. Tash, your mods are shit.
Oh.
You guys don't even need me. Dagger's got me covered. No, I'll tell you, and like by no means, am I saying this is like gospel? But I'll tell you my thinking behind the comp and DC that I used, and it had surprisingly good results. I think I don't know that it got one shot, but I wanted the DC's long text OG Hondo 9 thick 3. I wanted some health on it because one of the concerns I have about that squad is, can they survive like the initial attacks? Like if you can get a little bit of ramping in, it becomes really problematic. So I wanted a little bit of thickness. I think I've got like 40 to 50% health on there, and the rest were offense oriented. And I would have been, because there's special damage dealers like OG Hondo, so I'd been okay with offense and crit damage, but I ended up with a decent amount of armor pen. And I put a little bit extra survivability or thickness, I believe, on a couple of the attackers I had, wanting them to just, again, not die before they got a couple of turns worth of ramp. And on the flip side of that, I found that Pirate King Hondo, if it comes down to him, I didn't really, expect him to turn the battle. I wanted the ramping to apply to the rest of the squad, so I kind of optimized on a little bit more speed and damage with him. I had originally started like when Pirate King Hondo first launched, being all about survivability on him, and I moved more towards damage. So that, and then it was really, I think the biggest impact is just making sure you have Quiggold in there. Like that dude is a beast, both survivability, cumulative like damage that he does. Super impressed with him. And so, like against yours, Tass, and you set the same comp that I use. And one thing I didn't bring Dre, and it ended up being really meaningful because it allowed me to get above banner, like a 68 banner win when I desperately needed it to pull out the match with Bane. So I did a Bane Dre against like your Fin Zori for 68.
Nice.
But I put First Order Officer in there instead and went with an extremely offensive skewed approach. Like the Datacron was double damage on 6. There's like 300% armor pen. And again, to like my theory on my defensive squad, it was all about making sure I took out OG Hondo and Brutus as quickly as possible. And I say all that like, I mean, it was no stroke of genius. For God's sakes, I think I had like a limping slacker and a like 1 health First Order Special Forces left. So it wasn't like there wasn't a victory parade at the end, but it held on.
Okay. Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing. TJ, nothing else from you then? On the Pirate King side?
I went a different route. Because I was trying other ways to kind of work the damage down. So like undermanning like array with SLKR. So I went actually doing the Seer against the Pirate King. And funny enough, I don't know what relic delta we're talking about, but my round 2, I even took the Wampacron, took the Seer, took a good amount of setup, and those all like relic 8, relic 9s against a guy with far less than me. This setup had Smee on the team. They hard targeted Malicos. That dude was dead after like 3 or 4 moves. And I finished the team off, but there was no damage because I didn't have Star Killer in there. It was with Cal and with Maul. And I couldn't push through. And that actually cost me with my round 2. So it was just the game of RNG. Everything else worked out where I was getting the numbers, but me trying to do that setup, man, caught me off guard of how fast my Malicos just got pummeled out.
Wow. Yeah, I can believe that. I had Star Killer for my attempt against Sasha, and because I was able to immediately dispel the evasion up off of Hondo, like right after my Malicos got locked down, by the way, I took the chains right off of Malicos. We were free to go from there. So I agree. If you
there was
had
no
Star...
chains.
Yeah, it's a different fight.
Even with the Star Killer, it wouldn't have mattered. My Malicos never moved. They went in. They started on him, Smee, because obviously he's bypassing the taunt. That's what I mean, right? It's like Star Killer. It wouldn't have mattered the 5th or the 4th. There was nothing in there to do anything. And so I just sat there on the Pirate King, who just isn't going to die, right? Because you don't have any real damage to back it up. I don't even think Star Killer would have helped. You need the Malicos to be able to do anything if you're going to go that route, and you can just feel the impact when it's not there.
All right. Appreciate that. That's pretty much everything there is on Pirate King. Other meta matchups that, I don't know, kind of came into the fore for you guys this week. We didn't have a week 2 episode, so I guess if there's anything else you guys wanted to really highlight in the last 2 weeks, go for it. But I think I had like 2 Erodiums, and then a reasonably routine match against Herbert. What I did notice, I will just say, is that in three matches, I won on ground, lost on fleet, 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round, the reverse. So getting closer. Anyway, that's the cope. But yes, other meta matchups, guys. What do you have?
Well, I'll just say like I don't want to say if it's the quiet part out loud, but like Ray, this is one of the weakest I remember Ray being in recent memory. So I was actually really considering pulling her off defense there week 3. Just because seeing her get consistently just EPS-K'd just did not feel good. I ended up not pulling her, but yeah, just not a whole lot of light at the end of the tunnel this last week, or the week 3, for what I wanted to set on defense, because nothing really popped to me like, oh, this is really good. It basically boiled down to like, can you find a way to leverage one of the FDCs to make someone drop on your back wall versus, Queen or Bad Batch or something like that? And that's not a reliable strategy, short term or long term, over the course of a week to try to manufacture wins. So I will say that outside of Hondo, I didn't feel like there was anything that was like very difficult. I will say that I got kind of caught out a couple times by a couple teams, but that was just me being like bad at the game, not necessarily my opponents being like, "Oh, you didn't know how this worked, did you?" It's like, no, it was like I have like 40 minutes to do this gack, and then I use something on the front wall that I'd already in my head decided to do a sign for something in the back wall, and then absolutely impaled myself because I used the thing on the front. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of my losses this month were self-inflicted due to rushing or things that I knew better. Did not have a great season overall. I think I went like 4-5. So not gonna sit here and pretend like I had a great season. But yeah, just never really felt like I was on top of it. I've talked about this before in the wrap-ups. Never really felt like I ever got on top of this meta.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, for me, by the way, I think it was like a 5-4 season. So tough. Yeah.
I'll call it one thing that it was determinative in my first match of the week, and it was the one thing that led to a drop against UTAS was, the game has been slowing down for me. Like I have the battles will kind of choke up. On my iPad, I have a similar issue on my phone, and it's particularly those that I guess there's probably a lot of calculations, but it's like either a lot of dots or a lot of assists being called, and where that had a real impact was attacking Rivas. Now, granted, this one's just dusting, but with a ninth sister cron, and that's without Maroc there. So, in each case, like I brought a Phoenix squad, got ahead on it, and like got the debuffs down, but the game was not moving quickly enough. Even once I autoed it, I couldn't cut through them. And then similarly, like that was the drop that I had against Herbert that turned that. And then what I had to turn to was LV. And I thought it was slow with Phoenix, and I ran into it with LV on there, and I don't know, I got like 10 total attacks in over 5 minutes. It was something was off. So I think yeah, that ended up, it's an unfortunate impact, but like the reality is, like, I think there's some cool substance to it because that Riva squad, and I know it's dusted, but there are going to be some, analogs to it, I'm sure, in the future set. It had so few reasonable counters. It's like Seer Malicos and then the ones that I talked about. And then you can bring Bane and other stuff to probably start whittling it down. But it was just.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Demotivating.
Yeah, go ahead, TJ.
No.
Sure.
I everybody placed that on me, and that was part of the shift for me because I kept seeing it. Bane lead C 68'd it, no problem. And that was, it didn't matter the setup. Now again, if we're gonna call it a 1-to-1, if we're gonna say Relic Delta, these were, I think, 8s across the board, a couple 9s in there, not just full 9 R9 squad. But at no point did it go that long, Sasha, if you had the ability to. And that's part of what I was trying to do. It's like something
Right.
Fatal-esque if I was trying to shift my numbers around where I could. Hence, the Seer felt powerful until I faced the Smee, who said, you're not powerful. But yeah, SLK 2-mans, and then on the race, so to what Dagger's saying is true. And then the Bane C, man, that just felt great to like 68 the Riva. And it didn't matter if Merrick was there or not. It was so strong. And I think it was minute and 30, something like that. But I agree this week with the update. And I think you press the action button, it tries to hit the server. I know I've heard people talking about it. definitely felt the disconnect on other fights where it was like those Pirate Kings or other things. I'm like, man, this shift in the time, because I was always mobile, right? No PC, no nothing. And those delays were just, I kept blocking up thinking, oh no, I might lose this fight now.
Now, right now is Tuesday, and as of now, a solution isn't in the game yet, right? Because
It
I
just got
believe the
patched.
update today just fixed it. I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh, the update for it just came out. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay,
believe the
so
update
hopefully-
just came to the game today.
Okay, yeah, then they're more or less good on their word, because they said they were looking at targeting a solution release for early this week, and here we are. That works. Yeah, the lag definitely was costing a lot of people, and
It was.
I completely believe that would happen, because if you saw me do the Phoenix versus Riva here on PC where I don't have lag, that pretty much took to the very last second to actually win the fight. And granted, there are some characters that were Relic 8 fighting into Relic 9, so minor Relic Delta issue. But yeah, no, absolutely, there was no room to be locked up for 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there. Yeah. Oh, I see. Herfadurf in the chat says, the update today fixed lag for the most part and also removed the damage cap in Coliseum. All right, good to know, man. All right, let's talk about favorite attacks and defenses that we saw out there. I believe I already mentioned the one novel team that Sasha set for me, the new Zeriskron, and I took something with permakill in mind, so it didn't come back to bite me. I got it down to just Xeris and Padawan Obi-Wan. It would have been nice to have killed him earlier and had some other character be there instead of him, because then I killed Xeris. He got buffed up and did nothing that mattered. Still, it would be better if it wasn't Padawan Obi-Wan. I just think the fight evolved such that chasing Order 66 ended up killing what killed. So, I'm trying to think, did I have anything else? Let me check my spreadsheet. I know you guys probably have a couple notes. Yeah, using Maz versus Jabba, I saw some win rate using Vayne as the tank instead of Quiggle. If you were going to have Quiggled, it looked like it's pretty much a sure thing. You could do that with the Kixcron. You could do that with the Set 24 Pyrocron. But it looked like it would also be okay with Vayne as well. And I got everybody but Jabba, and it took some time, and Jabba got 2 ults out and ate Ithano, I want to say, first and Kick second. So kind of lucky. Kind of it, as I recall. Yeah, everything else kind of went to script this week. One thing I really want to mention as far as fleet meta goes. So if your opponent is setting or is reliably saving triple attacker, I think it's worth considering setting home one with the 3 attackers out front intended to be punishing of Executor. Then you have Leviathan with Phantom 2 and Mark 6 set down. And the last one I think is really well done is just Executrix. Like Scythe Vader TFP style. And I believe that if you're setting that and they're going to be saving triple meta against you, I think it's pretty much assured that your banners are coming out better. So I wonder if you guys had any thoughts on that.
Wait, are you telling me that someone who said multiple weeks in a row, like every week since everything happened, that you saving triple attacker or you saving executor means that you get less banners on offense than you setting it?
I think you may have just misheard me, because I said set Executrix. I did save Executor, and that
Anyways, my point is simply that
my
point is simply that if you save triple attacker, if you save executor, you lose banners on the fleet. Have fun.
My exec has routinely been getting 76 and 77 banners on offense now.
I've been doing good things, man. Maybe that's I think if you're going to be careful about it, I think A, if you're going to be careful about it, and B, if you're willing to not bring Xanadu sometimes. I think Xanadu ends up being just bench Xanadu liability.
Because literally, you just lean on the fact that the Deathmark gets you back to full protection, Houndstooth gives you a lot of protection. Like, Xanadu is, in my opinion, the best ship of the fleet, to be clear. But he helps you win the fight, and you are already probably winning the fight.
Right.
You just need the sustain, the protection. We're playing for banners. We're not playing for speed clear. And yeah, man, 76, 77 has been rock solid, steady, consistent for me for home one and negotiator so far. I'm curious how far I can go.
I will say the executor does feel okay, but it's funny to watch. What you would want to be is the Xanadu is where you want to take it. Obviously, if they're doing any of the Empire stuff, the triple attacker just makes
where
that
you're going to end
nothing.
up flexing it.
But
Yes.
it was just to I think follow up to what Fatal's saying and what I noticed. I've had it where the Xanadu was specifically what cost me banners because of the retribution that applied. I literally lost, I think, 3 or 4 or whatever the pullback was because I couldn't time out the last move to get the heal because everybody decided to, oh, you want to hit me? Let me just put everybody on you and you're dead. And then that cost me. I didn't lose the fight because of it, but it was just noticeable to say that, yeah, you can just 3-man with the executor, like everything else right now, on those fleets that everybody's placing.
Mhm.
There is a place for it.
Ironically, I think the worst fleet on offense right now is Leviathan.
Kind of feel
Is
the
how it feels.
same, honestly. Unless, I mean, this is all predicated on people setting like home 1 plus 2 non-meta fleets, which is a pretty reliable pattern for a lot of players right now. So to that end, yeah, I agree. Leviathan doesn't feel particularly great. Any other thoughts there? So I mean, those were my kind of thoughts on what I observed, offense, defense wise.
Oh, yeah. For me, it was mostly just I was winning fleet. Like fleet's like really easy to win right now. You just set home 1, Chimera and triple attacker, and you'll average like 74 on offense. And they'll average like 72, and you'll win fleet every time.
When you're setting Chimera, what's your composition?
Like TFP TIE Bomber Vader with
Iden
Tint and Iden off the bench.
my sister.
Yeah. My problem, like I said, has been just eating shit on the ground fights that I just shouldn't eat shit on because of being rushed, being lazy, being complacent, making mistakes. I don't know. This season was just, not to beat this drum, but just really bad play on my part.
You were bummed.
Really just, yeah, I was just really bad this month, and it sucked.
Right.
But I love my fleet plan. My fleet plan is really good for me. Your results will vary. You can do whatever you want. But my
There's
fleet
more
plan
than
works.
one possible good pattern. I'm just saying one that I found.
Oh, I'm simply saying that I'm reliably winning on fleet. I just need to figure out how to win on ground again. Because
yeah, well,
I will. If we're talking about good things of what was good for like a favorite attack type situation, and I told you about it, Tess, and I was feeling good. The 4-man Maz versus LV. I don't care what you were doing, was cool as shit. Got me. Yeah, you didn't need it. I took the kicks chrono and
I should.
I love Smee. Don't get me wrong.
On screen here.
I love Smee. My favorite defense. Yeah, that was my round 3 of favorite defense was set this. My opponent tried one time and do it, but the attack, the one I had this week where I was having a lot of fun and getting a 66 or a minimum 65 reliably was the 4-man Maz. If that was a determining factor of what you did, because you think I'm going to 65 it, and then I pulled the 66, which actually did save me my round 1. I pulled it well. And like I said, not needing a 5th character from Maz, it explains more why I wanted her to be one of my passion projects for their team, because they're just so overall strong, and being able to drop a character, that was awesome. I felt really good about it.
And what did you want to say about this Pirate King defense that you sent me the graphic? You wanted me to have that up.
I just said the favorite match of the season was my opponent tried my Pirate King team, failed on the Pirate King team, and no longer did JAC. So that was the end of the fight.
That'll be enough of that.
Yeah, the FTS was great. So fuck that shit. I'm out.
The Jerry Seinfeld, hands up, stand up from the seat, walk out of the theater.
Yeah, there's just no way to do the resolution of it. So it's like, cool. Don't even have to play the game anymore. Get to be done.
Fair.
You brought up something interesting that I've noticed in my playing too, where I'm not saying that Smee is a bad character. He just doesn't feel like he actually fits on either Maz or Hondo.
My
not
Malicos would
getting-
tend to disagree with you. I'm not
The
saying
not
it's not
getting-
wrong.
Yeah, the not getting profit is like really rough for him, and then you pair that with like the fact that he's like so like he seems to be the default target on the Maz team too. So if anyone ever dies, it's only ever him.
I
and he
honestly,
gets
I'd
ordered
prefer that
66.
he takes the draw. You know, that he's drawing
Yeah, but if he
fire
dies with
over
order 66, he
Athano.
doesn't come back. Yeah, but he doesn't come back. But he doesn't come back if he dies.
Yeah,
against
I
Lord
understand
Vader.
him not coming back. Yeah, I get it.
And if I go in with 4 people, I actively feel better than if I go in with 5.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying he's a bad character. I'm just saying he feels awkward on both teams. Like, yeah, he's a high target DPS, but I'm starting to think his role might be more on Hondo than on Maz.
Yeah.
But he definitely doesn't do more damage than Brutus. So, is he just replacing OG Hondo?
I think that's what we talked about early on when the team was brand new. Like in situations where you don't expect the opponent to try a punch up with something like Seer Malicos, then yeah, that's probably SM33's spot. Yes.
I got caught out by that because I didn't think about it, and obviously it doesn't work when you think about it. But Balin doesn't work versus Maz with Hondo.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I actually think I did see some data suggesting that. I wasn't in a position where I was going to try it, but I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one of the
Yes.
dum-dums that I did. Like I said, I just didn't think it through. Like, oh, Hondo doesn't change this matchup, except my Balin never gets a turn, so it changed everything.
It'll be fine, he said.
Yeah.
Very
So,
good.
That being said, Maz might be worth defense if you can try to shut out if there's a counter someone's comfortable with, I could see being able to frustrate that. Especially since I feel like people are not, well, my opponent's pretty much all set Lord Vader, but I think going forward we're going to see less Lord Vaders on offense or on defense as people start using Maz more and more on offense.
All right. So got that from you and TJ. Sasha, how about you? Any other noteworthy attacks and defenses from this week?
Yeah, I'll call it a couple of things. One, like, I mean, kudos to you. You definitely solved the new Barris healer level 6 cron that I set. I did it with QA. That wasn't because I thought that was like highest and best use of it, but I thought it was a fun wrinkle, and I was convinced that if I just set the prior sets Ray Datacron with my Ray and didn't use Barris there, that it was going to still draw like a really strong counter. And my goal in putting that QA squad in back with Barris was to try and not have Seer Malicos left, so that like you would have to struggle through the revives. He did a really nice job with LV solving that problem, because that was a squad I had some hope for. And there was another defensive squad that I was really interested in, and it ultimately came back around to being like a testament to the Gungans, like well-modded high relic with a high damage Datacron Gungans, and that I did like the Seer Malicos small star killer crew with the Jawa cron. Granted, it's dusted, but the concept will remain of like, all right, it's like about as good a stat stick as you're going to find for a squad that's a ton of Omicrons in it, and it's like a pretty darn good squad. And the Gungans still got it. And don't get me wrong, you're like, I watched the replay of it, and it was more dramatic than I would have expected, because they all blasted through your phalanx and killed it without the generator being touched. And I don't know that I'd seen that before, but it still fell to Gungans. And so like, it's just, we'll come to this in maybe another episode or future conversations about where are we going to prioritize putting additional relics, and that whole like managing the relic delta, that like, don't sleep on your Tarpals, don't sleep on like the Gungans and their capabilities, despite the fact that the Gungan focus crons are gone. So that was one that I thought was really worth calling out. And then In terms of like counters and attacks that were interesting, I mentioned saving D-Ray and having that with Bane. It's just her damage, or both the damage she does with Bane and her banner regen was really nice to be able to get a 68. I know it's not novel or anything, but if it does seem like a real viable option on Slicker is not including D-Ray, that's a great application of her. And so, yeah, those are the ones that stuck out for me, man.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And I've just poured myself a little bourbon here while we're on stream. Hey, link in the chat. Hey, 1K biddies. Hello, plotting and scheming number 391. Wow, is that feels small somehow. I feel like no. Maybe more. Wow, is that true? Dagger, for the love of God, I hope you won your match, so we match. Hi, Sasha. Hi, TJ. Fatal, hello. I'll be sure to snipe your climb. And Task, keep praying I don't go 9-0 next season. Love the show. Appreciate that, Link. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. All right, Fatal, what about you? Any noteworthy attacks or defenses you wanted to highlight for the week?
I mean, it's the same story as the entire season for the most part. It's been explosive. I would say it's been hyper successful. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty damn strong. Like, we're still very much in a training arc. There's still some bumps and bruises of like easiest stupid silly example is Saw can 3v5 Queen Amidala, but if your Saw Gerrera is too good that the bomb does too much damage, then it's losable, and then you have to bring more people. So, right, just to highlight how goofy this process can be at times, there is still a process of discovery here, but yeah, no, it's been excellent. I mean, I can toss out some random examples. I know easily my most explosive team this season was Zori with the squad remodded so that Zori was weakest. I'm not saying that squad is excellent, but I am saying that nobody really seemed to know the best way to deal with it cleanly, and she racked up an insane body count along the way. There was a fun gambit that I realized going into week 3, or I think later in week 2, maybe 2. Ahsoka, I just put Fulcrman over Ezra and started getting better banners because the neuron activation of, oh fuck, dude, it's an Ahsoka. Yeah, that matchup, shit banners. If you do that,
It
and everyone
blows
did
for
that.
Baylor. It's a terrible matchup banners wise. Like you'll probably win, but man, not great.
Oh, no, you're gonna win. Like, give
That's
them what they
Balin.
want. Oh yeah, the Bell's gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, give them what they want, and like give them the easiest loss of their life is like slowly becoming a running theme for this last week and the next probably a few months. You are going to beat my teams so easily. Don't even worry about it. You're not gonna drop. Your banners are gonna drop. Your wins are gonna drop. But you're gonna win, so you don't even sweat it, man. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're safe. Don't worry. You're not gonna drop. Once all that locked healing immunity on you, don't worry about it. It's fine. Kill me. Yeah, no, like I had an opponent who was like, yeah, man, that relic delta. They were only like one relic lower. Like, yeah, that relic delta really messed with my banners. I was like, no, that was a trap I was very specifically set. Like, oh yeah, this other fight. Yeah, I can really feel the relic delta. I was like, no, I very specifically remodded and set it down to trap you there. It's just like, yeah, my defense is meant to be passive aggressive, like hyper hostile, but also I know what you're gonna do when you're gonna do it, but also, just come on by, see what's up. Come partake of my unpleasant experiences and wonders and horrors. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying a bunch of shit that nobody else is trying that just like straight up doesn't exist on Insight before. It's been a lot of fun. I think it'll continue to be fun. Check it out if you're bored.
For sure. Yeah, fun watches all this season. All right. How about just general comments here from the room now about season in review? What do you have about looking this over? Because I know that, I know Dagger was saying that he didn't feel like he really had the opportunity or the focus really to lock in on this meta, and now half of that Datacron meta is just rotated out. But I don't know. What else does anyone have to say?
Yeah, I'll share one just sort of general positive like sentiment is like the matches that I went through this week all had some messes in them, and I love it. Like it's more common than not. It feels like that we end up in the third week of a season where the puzzles have been solved, and it is the high blood pressure banner efficiency stuff, and like in highly unlikely that there's a drop. It feels like more often than not, or at least certainly more often than I would like, that ends up the case by the third and final week of a season. And I don't think we quite got there this week. Not to say efficiency wasn't still really important, but there was defensive viability, and so I felt pretty good about that. So I actually came out of it feeling pretty good. And I do think that there's like such a seismic shakeup that's coming with this new Datacron set that I have no doubt that the first week of threes is going to be kind of all over the place as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with your personal experience. I think I had no one dropped on me at all week 3. No one. Not one fucking person. Week 2, I think I won one because I got hoed out on Hondo. And yeah, and I've been setting a pretty strong board, but people just this meta is very hostile if you're trying to manufacture drops. You're going to have to outscore all of your opponents. Now, I know you put in air quotes like you have to outscore all of your opponents. That's how the scoring works.
I think we know what you mean.
What I mean is like, it's very much an efficiency meta, which probably led to one of the reasons why I struggled to like lock in, because I just don't find it very fun or interesting.
So, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I could chime in on this because a lot of people in my Discord have a lot of thoughts about what it means to be a heavy defense player, and like apparently if you wash your own ass and like start getting decent offense matters, you're apparently no longer a heavy defense player. My theory that I've been testing and has been working very well so far is if you want to get holds, you need a well-performing offense to back alongside it, to create pressure, to create friction, to get them to make mistakes. My drop rate or my hold rate went up after my offense got better. Now, I do think the thing that's going the way of the Dino is, if your opponent plays well, I don't think you're going to get like knocked down, drag out, like, oh man, they won, but it was like a minus 13, right? I think that's just not really in the meta right now. But if you want to get holds, put a gun to their head, man. Like, in my opinion, there's like 3 waves of defense theory crafting. It's like, I bet you can't clear my defense, is how we used to do it back in the day, right? And sometimes the answer was no. But lately, the answer is increasingly yes, because it's pretty damn easy, because there's so many damn teams. Stage 2 is you put a gun on top of the table. I bet you can't clear my teams. And if anyone is interested in trying my playstyle, you attack them first. You show them the loaded gun or pointing at their head, and you're like, I bet you can't clear my defense, and also I just scored. I mean, fuck it, man. I had both experiences. You post an 1870 and you've got a pretty heavy defense, people just fold immediately. They're like, I'm sorry, I'm out. I can't do that against your defense is too heavy. Or, the crazier part, you can drop a battle and still post like an 1850 to 1855, which feels fucking crazy to me. I don't know. The whole entire thing back in the day of attacking first, oh, you make a mistake, you're fucked. But like the math just maths. The math just like, what are we doing, man? I don't know.
I never put too
I've
much
long
stock in
yeah,
that
I've long
back in
since
the
said
day.
going first is not actually like an actual disadvantage if you know what you're doing and are good at the game. Like going first is only a disadvantage if you're not good.
Yeah,
I have
easily said, but that is in fact the case. Yeah, if you can execute, what does
Yeah.
it matter?
Yeah, and I will say this. I have a mix of whether I go first or not. And to your point, Fatally, like you're right. I just, man, and I could just be bad at the game. I'm open to me just being dog shit at this video game. I don't know how some of y'all are getting the banners that, like you specifically, Fatal. I don't know how you're getting some of the banners you're getting on some of the teams you're facing. Maybe you're not facing the same teams I am, but
it was I lost more than people have tried. It was
I'm not
trial and
on-
error.
It makes
I'm
sense
not
that
arguing.
you languish in ignorance, Dagger, as Fatal never offers anybody the opportunity to watch any of these fights that you have no insight into.
I've watched his fights and I've tried some of them, and they do not go the same way, even with comparable modding. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I had
wrong.
to be a hater. That's why I had to get that.
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the system.
If you tried, then you tried. I can't like.
Yeah, I
hold
mean,
you for that.
I'm trying to get better at this stupid game. It just sucks because it's hard to get better and also like stay motivated. I don't know. 3v3 is gonna be fun.
Obligatory disclaimer. A lot of people seem to try to copy my mods, but like half the time it's TW shit. I see people like, here's the Luther that he used to 3v5 Queen Amidala, and it's random dog shit.
No,
I'm like,
it's
please,
not.
just ask
No.
me. Just
No.
ask me. I would much rather you ask me than try to be like, oh man.
Yeah,
lose
thankfully
eyes.
Thankfully, I am uniquely capable of identifying RTW mods.
That is true. That is true. A lot of other people are not, and I have seen the bot commands get run. I'm like, I'm just lurking right now. I shouldn't really jump in here, but I really don't want that guy to do that with his character.
And you said something interesting a couple minutes ago, Fede. You said that folks on your server were saying that if you're getting high banner clears, then that implies that you can't really have set that rigorous of a defense. And that's just pointing out really just how much the game has grown, because I think that thinking is outdated. That is antiquated.
Yeah.
Like the game's grown so much that if you set a hard defense, it implied you had to be willing to rough it out on attack, because we didn't have so clean or as many options in those days. Now it is very much the case that you can have it all, and I'm very glad to watch you prove that out.
It's all about the B teams, and like with pretty much all of them, they want Queen Amidala on defense, they want Saw Gerrera on defense, they want all of these like B+ power teams on defense. And fighting against the average opponent, I can recognize that, like, yeah, if they make a mistake or they don't know what to do, then you could still get drops with those squads. But I think for the opponents that you need to worry about are the ones who do know, and especially with the stuff I've been doing the last couple of seasons, proving, yeah, these B+ teams can just donate you 67s. So knowing that, and like the reason why I pulled the B+ teams in the first place is because it was such an area of like, I theory-crafted the crap out of them for defense. I know what they're capable of, and right now their defensive performance just is not what the squad's capable of. And we've been exploring that thoroughly on offense. The power output to results ratio just wasn't there on defense, in my opinion. That, like, if a team is just consistently dying for 65 or whatever, and the opponent's not stressed doing it, then it's not a heavy defense anymore, in my opinion. I'm sorry. It's just,
yeah. And that's interesting because, in very top-end defenses, Jedi Master Mace still had a place, not because you weren't going to 65 it, but that's why you were just saying, like, people are pulling Saw and whatnot off defense. It's because you weren't really able to create a fork-around Saw. I am able to create a fork-around Jedi Master Mace. You either want to use your Sith Eternal, maybe you reserved your own Saw to dunk on it. Otherwise, I feel like the options that it's going to cost you are the type of thing where I can punish that elsewhere. So, yes, yeah, like where you can have an intentional fork, these can make sense. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of incentive to pull these off. Like, you guys know how much I love Saw on defense, and for a large part of this season, he's been on attack, very profitably employed against any manner of Jedi Master Mace. So.
But here's the thing, too. As the friction and risk increases, the chances for drops also increases. Like, this is why I've been so electric about this angle, is because, like, it's not even like, oh damn, this is fun in the short term. The meta gets healthier in the long term. The game gets more fun in the long term. Because in my opinion, right now, as this shit gets solved, the meta will either have to adapt or die. And I'm not saying the meta's going to adapt. Like, whatever happens, happens. But if they don't, it'll be a pretty fun time for me. But once people adapt, yeah, man, there will be more chances for holds. There will be more holds or chances for getting the read on your opponent or blocking them or reading their strat or trying to bait them or like, yeah, it just sounds a heck of a lot healthier to me. That, yeah, I don't know. I'm a diehard believer of this shit. I think it's real. I think it's proven. Is it consistent? No, just because I'm, again, who the fuck would think Sauger being good was bad, actually? Type shit, right? It's a learning process. But, no, man, it's fun. It's real fun.
Dig it. Appreciate that. Other points of view you guys wanted to offer here, just thinking about the entire season in review. DJ, we've had you on mute for a bit. Anything you had uniquely to throw in, or?
No, I think I've been like, Dagger pretty much nailed it for me. Season didn't seem very fun for me, not because of the lack of trying or something else. It's just going to be bad luck or making a silly move or something else like that. Coming into the week 3 and trying to shift gears to do the Fatal SLS Underman here or do something else there, that was fun being able to see it, but I think that just came too late for me. Other than that, it just felt... I'm kind of excited, not for the threes and all that, but to see where the new Datacron set comes in and how this transgresses and all of these other projects that I've been working on, trying to get the teams and everything built up to be a stronger setup. But season in review, I want to just say just I wasn't playing the right game, I guess, and because of that, I got outdid. And that doesn't go for also lack of like, hey, I could have done another step here and not made that mistake. So that you gotta take the ownership where it needs to, which Dagger I think did a great job.
Yeah.
I get to be in that boat, right? I have to take the personal accountability to say, well, why didn't you make some further adjustments to really have fun?
Mm-hmm.
I think
honestly,
all but one of my matches. I think you'll agree with this, teacher. I think all but one of my matches was winnable. I think one of them he just like hung like a whatever 68, something that I am a player and not capable of surpassing. So I think for me, all but one of my matches was winnable, and I just punted like 3 or 4 of them, and I was outplayed. I was out scouted by the same person that I played a few times in the past. Like, I know what to blame. I know I'm to blame, and I know why. Like, I'm not like.
Good.
Yeah,
It's
like
good. I think that's the only healthy view as a player, is to actually, find where you were actually garbage in the fight and then improve that, because anything else, like, oh my God, it's RNG. It's like, well, then you can't really improve on RNG, can you?
Yeah, because like even the one where my game crashed on a Hondo and I cleaned it up, I still like decided to do another dumbass fight that I lost, and then I lost by 10 banners. Now, if I didn't do the dumbass fight when I was on tilt, I would have won. So, well, again, like I said, it was a winnable GAC even with the crash.
Damage control and tilt management is it's been back like a motherfucker lately. Just like, dude, it's crazy. I like you cannot let a loss get to you at all. Like twice or 3 times this season was like, yeah, dude. If you had like just given it here, you would have lost that match that you otherwise like easily had the win. I guess for attacking first, you just have to be stronger mental than having perfect information attacking second. But for real,
especially when a lot of people wait till the last 2 hours just to try to milk how much they can, how much information they have going into attacks. So I end up going first like 90% of the time because of that.
Yeah, but like, I'll do the same, right? But then it's like, if I make the mistake and that costs me what my strategy was going to do, it's just I have to own that's like, well, if I would have done better type of situation.
Fair.
I did have a thought.
Please.
And I didn't actually try it, but I'm just going to put it out into the world, especially for people who attack first. At least if you're on the game plan that I'm on, I'm pretty sure that attacking north first is correct, and you should do your ships ASAP so that you know how your ship's RNG goes, and you can decide how much risk you want to take on ground off of how things went for you in ships.
Especially in 5v5, I think that's not terrible because you can pretty much guess their back wall. It's 3 teams.
You guess their back wall, but also a lot of, like, it's not that hard to build an offense that gives you good coverage these days. Obviously,
Yes.
meta depending.
Well, yeah. No, that's what's it. In 3s, it's a little more difficult, but definitely in 5s, I agree. I think that might be a strategy I employ going forward. But again, I've been having good luck in fleet, knock on wood.
Well,
So-
but the whole thing, if your fleets are basically, it's not like those fleet go to shit or not. It's just like, okay, did I bleed it all in fleets, or like what am I working with?
God.
And then you use that to inform how much risk you need to take on ground. Because that's been another side of this is like, I'm undersizing as much as I can just because I'm trying to collect information and like try to see how far we can push things. But I think once this playstyle settles in, you don't have to undersize everything. There will come a point where, like, especially if you attack ships first, and you're like, okay, I got a 77 to 77 to 75. I'm chilling. Do I need a 3v5 every matchup? Probably not. I'm probably okay to perhaps throw a 4 or maybe, God forbid, a 5 or run a summon with a 6 and sometimes and just fucking take the win. Like, you did the hard part. You're good. Like, yeah.
I do find myself
That's a good
finding
point.
teams that I can easily shave characters off of. And that's one of the things that I came back to with like Maz is Smee's not really actually relevant for almost any matchup that I've found that I've used her in. So that's pretty much just a 4-man team for me. And I think that it's interesting going forward to also see how many Trey is another team that I consistently do 3 to 4 mans on just because like the 5th man is just irrelevant.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Trey is just so good right now in general.
Yeah.
Offense or defense, I feel strong on her on both. I have her on defense at the moment, but I want her in offense so bad, but she's defense.
Agreed. Yep.
One more like separate
Please.
topic. I mean, that was a really good discussion, and so I didn't want to derail it. But like as I look at the kind of the changing of seasons and moving on, one thing I'm curious about for this next season is I look at this last season, at least from my personal experience and how I thought about strategy for matches as being a focus datacron first consideration. Like I would really start to think about, I mean, there's like what defense are you putting up, but really how's your Rolocron deployed? How is your Jawacron deployed? And I these were like in some cases like superstar making like differences. Like they would take a very good squad and make them like extremely dominant or otherwise. And I'm very curious to see what the new set of focus datacrons are, or is it one where the standard datacrons, because of what appears to be a super strong level 6 for attackers, a very interesting one for healers, like is that going to be so strong combined with a few other factions like First Order and Pirates in particular having really strong datacrons just from a prior set, that the focus datacrons won't be the priority. There's some pretty cool new focus datacrons. So I don't mean to derail it into that, but it was just from a more kind of abstract and like meta perspective of like, man, I do feel like for the last couple of months, I have always been focused on where are the FDCs and how am I using them and how does my opponent use them?
No, that's a really good point. I
Mhm.
know I have had a lot of these conversations with Tass and TJ.
Mhm.
I don't think you and I have actually talked about this, so it's really cool that you bring this up because I definitely paid a lot of attention to where I used them and tried to legislate my ability to need them out of my offense plan. Because the Jawacron was just such a good stat cron. The Rolocron
Right.
added wrinkles on so many different teams. And there's one from this new set that's going to absolutely blow the fucking meta up, and I'm looking forward to that in 3s. Not just to touch on what you were saying, like I think that these are all solid for this one, but there's one that just like head and shoulders above the other.
This meta was a choose your superstar. The next meta is a slam dunk competition.
Yeah.
And NBA All Stars dunk competition. Fucking
Yeah, we're gonna have Blake Griffin jumping over Hondas. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be how many characters do you need to absolutely beat the shit out of that 5-man team? And the answer is sometimes gonna be 2 characters.
Fair.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Unless there's anything else specific you guys wanted to mention about the season in review, I mean, I'll just say that I very much enjoy the kind of dancing around, figuring out the new balance of fleet, which was something I was really thinking about as a project going into this last 5 vs 5. So I'm glad that there's some real learnings from that and how to deal with particularly folks that are going to set like Leviathan and Executor against you, or neither, no meta fleets aside from the home one on defense. That was a lot of fun. And then, we had just an inconvenient amount of Erodiums this season. I had been spoiled the last couple of seasons, so I'm hoping that next season trends down. CG, fix your game. I mean, there's higher priorities, I guess, but still.
Can y'all knock them down by the time that I'm done climbing? Can we just get that out of the way?
Great, lean on everyone. It's CG. I would longingly show up outside the office windows and tap on the glass and breathe on the glass and draw a heart and say fix GAC written in the glass. I would do that. I would.
I'm the closest. I probably should.
You could. It would really be the least you could do, Sasha.
It's a little drive.
Isn't it honestly just PvP? Are we at the point of stop?
Yeah.
I understand game mode, but are we just gonna say PvP, please?
Mm-hmm.
I will also just say this: this last week specifically was, you have the holiday, at least for me, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, between the upcoming holiday of the American Thanksgiving and the lag in the game and the kind of the flop that Coliseum is. I know I'm lower on the game right now than I have been in the past, and that definitely hurt my motivation to power through some of the struggles in GAC. So here's hoping that the entire community rebounds from some of these doldrums, if you will.
You're here. Fair enough. Herb says, yeah, CG's like an hour from him. Yeah, everybody meet up at CG and, fog the glass. Fix GAC, fix TAW. You're welcome to stump for your pet cause so long as you're there. Don't let me limit you. Yeah, you could show up wearing a task costume holding a boombox outside. That's fantastic. Yeah, have me in the trench coat as well. Give me the full Cusack. All right, guys, we are, about an hour and 10 minutes into the show. I'd like to give most of the next 40, 45 minutes over to the audience for questions. So, guys, start getting questions out there in the chat. We're looking on Twitch. We're looking on YouTube. And, we'll start taking what you guys have. Bear in mind, if you guys ask a lot of questions about what we're doing in the next 3 vs 3, we're really going to try and speak about those plans in detail on the preview episode coming for the next season. So that'll be next episode. Otherwise, yeah, fair game.
You already answered this in chat, but do you care to say again on the video why you have so much normal energy banked?
Oh, yeah, folks do ask that from time to time. It's just, first of all, I don't need gear. So I don't need to spend it on gear. I obviously not really needing to spend it on farming characters. In large part thanks to support. And so I'm able to unlock them pretty early and have them at 7 stars at the end of the marquee event. So I'm not grinding character shards or gear. So I have really nothing to spend them on that I care about. So that energy is best saved so that when a new Galactic Legend comes out, I can just one shot, unlock, max it out, get the ultimate all on day one, and still have thousands of energy to spare. So, yeah. All right. Got our first question here on Twitch from Black Hole 200. What's the best home one lineup on defense for B-Wing to come as the first reinforcement? Well, first of all, I'm not aware if there is a composition that you can set where there's a reinforcement that'll come out with higher priority than B-Wing. Does somebody want to immediately disabuse me of that? Is
Bigs. Don't put bigs.
Biggs?
As long
Biggs
as
will
you
jack
don't.
it up? Okay.
Yep, bigs will.
Big starting or
We'll take the
not in the
precedent.
lineup. Yeah, either big starting or not in the lineup.
That's the answer.
Phantom's a coin flip.
Okay. Now I see that Livid is saying Phantom, and I know if that is true, it's only sometimes true because it was not that. It was B-Wing then Phantom 2 from Sasha's fleet in round 3 of last week. Go see the VOD.
It's probably placement order.
Oh yeah, and Livid.
Oh, yeah?
Livid said Phantom is the same tier, so it's whoever's placed first.
Yeah.
I see.
It's like
So,
there are 5
then you
ships,
should
Biggs
place
included.
B-Wing first.
There are 5 ships, Biggs being one of them, that are like absolute highest tier. Don't even fucking try it. I'm watching you tier, and then a lot of it past that is. Yeah, it's Sunfac, Outrider, Arc, Biggs, and the Resistance tank are guaranteed first. And then it's, there are tiers past that, but a lot of it just tends to be a placement order. Here's the
I think you
image
definitely
link.
want to. Sorry, my apologies.
No, it's just here's the image link.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I also think that you want to have attackers in your starting lineup. So if your ghost is really good, you can start that. Otherwise, it's like Cassian, Cassian, and is it Raven's Claw? Is that the name of the ship?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Cassian
Not-
or some number of Cassian, Ghost, Ravenclaw, and Biggs in your starting lineup. You can only pick 3
Not
of them.
Bistan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bistan
not
is that.
For the love of fuck, stop.
Yeah, Bistan is
I know,
so active.
I know. I have an R8 SRP in Bistan. I know. We a lot of us went through that past meta. Trust me. I am asking you to be more dangerous against me. Stop hosting Bistan. He 2-turn does nothing. Please.
It's true.
I've seen a lot of Bistan.
It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean you're wanting the Kyle Katarn ship up front. Cassian is who I'm setting. I also see Ghost. And who's the third?
Yeah. It's Raven's Claw and then 2 of Biggs, Cassian, and Ghost.
Yeah, I want to say Biggs
And if
is.
you don't set Biggs starting, do not put it in reinforcements.
I want to say Biggs is what you want to set if you're expecting them to use something other than Executor. But if they are going to use Executor, that triple attacker can often snipe out ship.
Yes.
No. Yeah. All right. Good one. Good one to start with. Let's see here. All right. Sheepdog says, will you hoard for triple drops on the 28th? Hoard what?
No.
And the answer
Energy.
is probably
No.
no, if it's depending on the energy.
No, it's mod slicing materials and then the regular nodes. So no, I won't be.
Okay.
If they ever decided to make mods double drops again, I might consider hoarding. But we just live in a world where it's not really worth. How many days of not farming are you willing to give up to get triple drops? And the answer to that question should be probably 1 or none. Right? Because in order to hoard, you have to give up. So, anyway, that's my basic view on it just in general is I don't... If I hoard, it's the reset before I'll go up to as high as I can. Otherwise, I don't really hoard. It's not... You're giving up days of You're giving up days of resources for double or triple drops, and that just doesn't seem good.
Good. All right. Next question from Jay Chung. Have any of you come across the people who did Relic 10 DR and set Scimitar as the first reinforcement? Beck showed one on his last stream that was bogarting first place in his fleet chart. So is that like with Scimitar as the only reinforcement? Is that my assumption? Because otherwise, I think it's pretty... You'd have to set like a rebel ship or something else to game the AI into preferring Scimitar. What do you guys have to say, though? Any reports from the front lines on Relic 10 DR? Because Herbert had it for my round, but he saved his Leviathan for offense, so I didn't have to encounter that fight.
I am terrified of Scimitar as the only reinforcement if they do R10 DR.
Okay.
I'm terrified of that. Because the mirror is just like... I'm not going to say it's unwinnable, but man, it gets really, really fucking hard. As someone who's fought that in arena, there's a couple guys in my fleet arena who did that, and they play Scimitar as the only defender, as the only one. And yes, you bring your Scimitar in first, but then they bring theirs in, and then it's like, because yours blows up and theirs stays around. So it gets really sketchy. Not saying it's not winnable. Like, Bogarting first place seems unreasonable because I feel like you can still beat it, but man, it is just dog shit ass banners.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has thoughts on it.
Anybody? Nope. Okay. No pressure. All right. Thanks for linking that, the reinforcement image. If you guys haven't seen it, thanks, Fatal, for linking that in Twitch chat. Chronic said, why did Sasha Relic 10 JML? Just was it for your guild? What's the benefits? And what did TJ R10 if he did one? So right out to you, Sasha and TJ. What you guys... Go ahead, Sasha.
Yeah, sure. So I think I could say, yeah, it was guild directed. I mean, all that's visible. Our guild made that call. It was definitely on my list anyway. The challenge, the benefit obviously is just the sheer stat gain. While R9 to R10 is not like super impressive from stat gain perspective, there is a nice amount of protection JML gets. The downside, of course, is that the JML leadership ability, based on his protection, is the Relic Delta calculation comes off who you're targeting, like who that coin is going to, or who that leadership ability is used on. So if it's used on anybody other than JML, you're not getting the full advantage. But if you are using that leadership ability from another Jedi back to him, it is a ton. It is really useful. And I guess my personal 2 cents on it is it's nice to have. I don't view it as like a must have. I don't view it as totally game changing. So I'm not saying rush out and follow that per se. That was guild directed. I think it makes some sense. I think there's some good use to it. It also led me then to, this is probably a topic for another show, but like as we've made the transition into the new economy with R10, that means R9 bottlenecks have loosened at least a bit, and it's made me way more conscientious about, okay, who's going to be in a JML squad? How do I make sure their relics are up? Even you, Hermit Yoda.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
And
I will
to add to that too, because as someone that will be my next R9 because of the guild I'm in, I share guild with Sasha and Fatal. There are no must R10s, and that's one of the things I do like.
Nope.
So you're really just going on what order are you doing your top 5? Because I think most people's top 5 to 7 look pretty much the same, except for Tassenix. He did something a little more off the beaten path, which is fine.
His was a guild request, though, right?
Because we're all
Was
gonna
that
end up
not?
with
Yeah, it was.
Because we're all going to end up with R10 GLs at some point, anyways. Just
Agreed.
not just because of Relic Delta, but because of their GL unique. So I'm not here to throw shade at that either. What I will say though is JML is like 210k prod at R10, and that's like 130k coin. Yes, I know it's based off the Relic Delta of who you're calling the coin on, but if the relics are equal that you're calling on, that the true damage is up like 25k or 20k, 25k, something like that, which is an unreasonable amount of damage just in general when you're trying to take out other like GLs. Like, for example, Rey is back on the menu. Leia is now really easy. Ahsoka is now on the menu.
So all right. So I guess I'll give my stance on it. So what I did Darth Revan, and I did mine for fleet, and it was completely selfish, and I still have an active fleet arena, and being able to set that shit to auto is amazeballs. Highly recommend. 5-star chef kiss. Being able to not deal with the stuff like that. Impact for what happens later in the game. It'll be nice for the strategy of knowing that if you have an R9 Levi and I set my R10, so there's merit there. But again, that's that's a mind game of an overall meh. It's cool. I did it specifically because I'm in an active fleet arena. That is the whole thing. Let's not get beyond it. R9, R10. There are things there, but we're talking about the relic deltas. I also agree with what Dagger's saying. My next one, I'll let Chromium choose my next R10. I agree with Dagger. I think our 5 to 7 next characters are gonna feel similar in what we do. The Ezra looks great. The Ahsoka looks great. JML looks great. LV looks great. All of these names are going to be coming around. And it's like, well, when do you do it first? Tactical advantage for the TWs at the top are funneled out group of folks, videos, looking at CH. I'm telling you, we're all going to do the same shit. It's just a matter of what order it goes in. Dagger called it perfect. So, not to keep repeating it, but
for what it's worth, no one's R10 is going to mean fucking anything for the next 4 months.
I think there's merit to the
Strong
R10s.
statement,
I think
yeah.
then
I'm talking about the Krons. I'm talking about this new Kron season. This Kron season is just
they're novel.
Absolutely fucking bonkers.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like looking at it, it's like, but like the asking for the JML, cool. It's a cool idea, and I definitely think it's going to be there. If we ever get a new fleet, you know what you're going to be artining the pilots or whatever else you're going to need, because you're going to want that tactical advantage. So don't let it change the minds of anybody else. Just follow what you need and be willing to work with your guild on their asks, because I've seen people talk about it. I think I heard somebody belittle Tass and Dagger talking about you're in the top guild and your guild asked for, it's like,
they didn't belittle it. They just said that they would never see themselves in such a guild. It's
I just wanted to.
They were never going to be invited to such a guild, so it works out.
I have to make a statement on it where it's like, you do know that guild also gives you ROI to your game resource management. So I don't think it's an unrealistic ask that you put like at least a 50-50 split or something else. So I just wanted to make sure I comment, because I didn't like the response of saying that's an unfair ask when you're doing raids and that gets you resource management. You're winning TWs or doing settlements for TWs. That's getting resource management in a game where resources matter. So it's like, be respectful to the people and their time. And if they ask you for something, it's probably for good cause. That was where I wanted to leave. Sorry.
The bottom line that I always give people, because I have some friends who play that they're just like, I couldn't do that. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, there comes a time in every man's life when they want everything written up for them, and if it costs you an R10, if it costs you your first R10, that's the price I'm willing to pay to have literally everything written up for me.
Let me make sure. Link asking me how I'm so good at Coliseum. I got the same Luke as him, and I know my score is high right now. That's complete RNG, sir. Don't take it for anything else. Also, hacking is a key, so if you go and hack, it works.
The power of APK.
Have you attacked ever since the?
That's the only reason I got it. That's how I got my number. I'm like 90K on like tier 5, saying thank God, because they didn't blind my Luke or remove my turn meter, so I was able to keep attacking. It's just RNG, man.
Yep. All right.
Back to it.
Let's catch up with questions here. Yeah. The Vero Doom asked, I'm sure I missed it already, but what were the thoughts on Relic Delta? And is Fatal happy about what they picked? The
numbers they landed on.
The values for Relic Delta. Yeah, we actually didn't really talk about how Relic Delta may have affected any of us this week.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I really can't say I noticed much of it, but then again, I am mostly Relic 9 fighting mostly Relic 9, so not expecting a lot either.
Especially this week, I saw basically everything I fought was R8 plus, and it's going to only get better or higher because of the economy changes.
Right.
Next question here comes from Altinox. Apologies if this was already addressed, but what are your top priorities for the new Datacron set besides Barris? We won't cover that one here because we'll definitely be talking about what we have prepared going in for the first week. But I will say I just put out a video. I don't know if Fatal... I know Fatal had a stream, so you can catch his previous VOD about it. There's at least two resources that you can look into for recommendations in the new set. My video went live just as we started up this stream, so it just hit my YouTube. Go check it out. Hot off the press today.
What I will say is that Barris is not even a priority. It's one you probably want.
It's good.
but
It's
not
probably not like the
Yeah, it's
the
cool.
cron.
Yeah, it's not even like top 5 or top 10 crons you want.
Mm.
God, this set's so good.
Well, any other comments from you guys about Relic Delta and stuff this week? No, nothing to speak on. I know you're
doesn't affect me at all.
Right.
I know there was some stuff asked towards me. For the most part, I think it's fine. There are only like 1 or 2 or 3 matchups that are like adversely affected still. I made 2 major pushes for Delta to continue to be lowered. The first one succeeded, which got us to where we're at. The second one, I was kind of surprised at how many creators were openly just saying, "No, it's fine. It achieves our goals. Like, it doesn't need to be lowered more." Because I do feel like there were arguments to be made that it still could have been lowered more, right? Like, Bo-Katan Mandalore is kind of in a really weird place now if you start to hit like Relic Delta 3 in a way that most squads just don't give a shit. But
doesn't that still harken back to them saying that they kind of intended for that matchup to be dead with the advent of Lord Vader clones and the fact
so
that
CG did not say that.
Oh, they did not say that? I thought that was a thing.
Unfortunately, they only said that bounty hunters would be blocked.
They said that about Fennec. Yeah, I remember something in their post saying some match that they were specifically calling out to forbid. But okay,
well, Fennec
fair
was
enough.
Dead before
Fennec
Delta,
being one.
so I don't know.
Yeah, that was why clones have just been in a weird spot because there's like, we're killing Fennec. It's like they were already dead.
Clones stopped Fennec. Fennec was barely doing this shit before clones.
Yeah.
Overall, like, so yeah, there's possibly a bug going on, and I don't even know if it's Relic Delta related at this point because shit is weird even when you are ahead in Relic Delta. Like, you could be ahead and have your units get one shot. You could be ahead and have their units just randomly become unkillable. There's reports of like Gear 12, Gear 11 units just becoming immortal even at like Relic Delta 5. Like, shit is seemingly, occasionally, rarely fucked. And my main concern is that possibly clouding people's opinion of what Relic Delta is. Because, as was said in a lot of cases, Relic Delta shouldn't really be noticeable unless you are walking into, like, RD4, RD5, and in some cases RD3, depending on the dynamics.
I do know that I had an R7 character, like, do, like, double or triple damage against me in GAC. Or an R8 character, sorry, against my R9s. And it felt like they did, like, this AoE that, like, almost like killed my whole team, and I'm just like,
yes,
I'm up a relic level. What the fuck?
That is the shit that we have been trying to track down. That we are just sorely lacking video evidence of right now to like point to as like it's real, because right now it's
the Quiggled AoE just like took my entire Balin team to like 10% health.
Right now, it's in the tier of like mass hysteria levels. I'm not saying I don't believe it. Like, the reports are way too fucking specific. Like, I can parse, and there have been some reports where it's like, that was a skill issue on your part, or that is just how it goes. But it's shit like their GL Ahsoka got one shot by Leia Logrel at the start of battle, and that's just like, okay, that is unmistakable. All right, you cannot contest or deny that. So that's why I'm like, trying to hunt this shit down, and it's a fucking holiday, so shit's even worse, and nobody records their fights, because why the fuck would they, unless they're a content creator, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we just have no proof right now. But that shit is not Relic Delta. Relic Delta is, hey, it's the fight you know, but they do, and you do, either plus or minus 5, 10, or 25% damage in most cases. It is not, my GL Ahsoka just got one shot by a Leia Logrel. That ain't Delta. That is fucked, and please let me know if it happens. And if you have proof or evidence, please God. Yeah, Rolling Delta in its current state is as close to as what I was hoping for as it could be. I think it could be a little bit lower, but for the most part, like I see a lot of people saying underdogging is dead, and that's just not true. Like, and the unfortunate side of Relic Delta existing, to be clear, I prefer if it didn't exist, but it's just the world that we live in. A lot of people are gonna blame that shit for things that it should not be blamed for. Like, people are gonna say it's Relic Delta's fault for them losing. And like I've seen reports of people saying like, "Oh, this matchup was bugged, such and such happened." I was like, "No, that you just lost. You just did the wrong thing." Type shit. So
yeah. Vero Doom says, "Thanks, Fatal. I know a lot of people are upset with the whole update, but I appreciate the work you guys all did working with CG. Yeah, all of the testers, for sure."
Yeah, I wish we had more tester solidarity on that final push. I do think that there were strong arguments we made to get it lowered, but the moment that I saw other creators being like, "No, it seems fine," I'm like, "All right, I guess I've lost all like wind out of my sails." Like,
mm-hmm.
All right,
more perspective. All right.
Yeah, I don't think Delta's going to matter much now. I think what Delta's really going to matter is when they roll out Relic 11 and Relic 12, and they made it a lot easier to get to R9, but Relic 11 comes out, and now it's forced Relic Delta 2 and 3, basically, because R10 is still gated and R11 is still gated. I think Delta is an imperfect solution to a systemic problem that didn't need to exist. So by that, I just mean that I think that there could have been systemic things they could have done when they put out relics that would have future-proofed them that they did not do. And now they're scrambling to make up for that because they want to continue vertical progression and force people to do it.
So if you look at what Relic 10 is doing, it seems like CG is basically trying to create brief windows of advantage that do not last. Like, you look at how... obviously, we'll start at baseline. Relic Delta only lasts until they catch up. Like, sure, okay, that's layer 1. Layer 2, Relic 10 cancels the majority of itself out. You gain 10% crit chance until they get Relic 10, and then they gain 10% crit avoidance. And no, the fuck you don't. Same for assay potency. Accuracy is permanent, seemingly, unless they ever decide to add evasion. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think they kind of regret evasion mastery, perhaps, shall we say, is well, I mean, you know, I asked in the Q&A, hey, are you all worried about R10 coming out with evasion mastery? And they're like, yeah, we're putting accuracy in R10. So that,
yeah, I do remember that being specifically called out, which was, I think, a really good call out to ask about on some of those characters.
That was my question, and that was the answer.
Herpaderpa said it best. When R14 versus R12, that 20% CC 10 potency, etc., is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but, so like that, and assuming I assume it, like, I mean, it could maybe even be faster, but I assume it's going to be like 12 months from now. We're talking about Relic 11.
Yeah,
type shit.
Oh yeah, they said that they wanted. They said in the fireside chat that they wanted linear, and they wanted their linear and vertical progression to happen at roughly the same pace, which means every like 8 to 10 months they're looking to put out a relic level.
Yeah, so I think what's going to end up happening, and especially I think if you look at this new era and like kind of the implications of it, I think if this is Galaxy of Heroes 2, shit's going to get a little bit weird when you start to think about like new players aren't going to go down the checklist. I mean, there's easier catch-up mechanics that they could probably catch up if they wanted to, but like they don't really need to. Like, do you really need to like go out of your way to get certain characters if you could just go farm other possibly better or just more interesting to you characters? Like, we might be coming up on an era of the game where like it's almost like play styles or like preferences start to emerge, especially as like, you know, I guess like I assume that like, you know, Relic 11 comes out, Relic 10 goes craftable is like probably going to be the rhythm of this sort of thing. But still, like does the future of Galaxy of Heroes involve like people having mains? Are there going to be people who are just like, oh yeah, I'm a Bad Batch main? Okay, those people aren't going to exist. Are there any people who are just like, yeah, I fucking main Gungans. My Gungans are Relic 11, Relic 12, and that's just my squad. That's the fuck with Gungans for real. Like that's more or less what I'm wondering is like, we talk about the board needs more space. There's too many teams, and I almost feel like CG is saying, nah, not really. Pick which teams you're interested in.
I will say the Passion Project thing does feel like it because it does feel like each time you walk in with a team of 5 again, Pirates, like the Maz team, and then what's the optimal 5, and then wanting to put love into each character is having an advantage. Bad Batch was probably my number 1 just because of everything we saw with Fatal, and then Pirates now, and then I started on Spectre because I feel like that. So it's been going down my project list of saying who and how do I want to engage this, because the time gating makes sense almost, right? If we say every 12 months we're looking at it, and then now it's 11 versus 9, 11 versus 9s and 8s, and then as you're doing that, Fatal, your call out feels really strongly suited tying in kits, right? Because like we talked about it, I think Gungans are going to have a really big time doing this because of just how well their kits are suited to build out. That it could be we're down to like 11 teams or whatever it's going to be, and then those characters or those teams are really going to have the advantage.
Yeah, mechanics-based teams are always going to have an advantage in a relic scaling system. Gungans is a good shout-out because they're a mechanics-based team that doesn't particularly care. As long as they don't have anti-Gungan mechanics, Gungans are going to do Gungan things.
Yeah. Clean's team, I think, has another good merit to look at. But again, mechanics-based, so it's not discounting. Oh, yeah, I already took her.
They're releasing a lot of these great mechanics level, like mechanics style teams, because they do scale so well with relics.
Mm-hmm. By the way, guys, we'll take questions here for another 10 or so minutes and then get ready to wrap this episode up. Try and keep it under about 2 hours. So last couple questions, get them in the chat. Sorry, Dagger, continue.
I'll say to Herfordurf's point, yeah, as with every new system, R9 to R11 is going to feel like completeness. Because R10 is where you start getting the ancillary buffs. So R9 to R11 is minus 20%. They have plus 20% potency, tenacity, crit chance, accuracy. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, like, you're going to have that going forward as well for a 2 relic delta gap. I'm just saying R9 doesn't have it. So, like, the evasion mastery on the R11 is just going to be so brutal from R9 to R11. So, to Herfordurf's point, that is probably going to be the biggest feel bad relic delta gap that the game is going to offer.
Fair.
Or R8 to R11, whichever you're in.
Quick question here from Reds fan says, this is for all of us, I assume. What is your favorite tune that you used to use a lot, but is now obsolete? I talked about this the other day. I'll keep it consistent. I miss using gas. I'm not getting a lot of gas usage in the last couple of seasons. So, he's one of my favorites. I miss you, boy. How about the rest of you?
I unlocked CLS in October of 2017 and used them in Arena until February or March 2021. I miss that team.
Next.
That's actually a very tough question. I can't think of one specific one that sticks to mind where it wasn't like, I'll go with the team when it was just felt like the most relevant. It was the Bounty Hunters versus like the LV when it first came out. That was a lot of fun that just doesn't have the same merit that it did.
You would say if you have to pick a single character that comes to mind, you'd say Bosk.
Character? I can't, man.
Well, you would say Bosk in that case.
No, he would say Fennec.
I would probably say Fennec, man. Oh, okay. Fennec was, yeah. So, yeah, I guess it would have to be the Fennec.
One of the original Slappy McSlappersons. One of the new age ones.
Fine choice.
Yeah, Fennec killing a GL dude was chef kiss.
Yeah.
Okay. Fatal, how about you?
Got an absolute.
Damn hell.
Tell me I'm fucking wrong. I'm not saying that JML is 100% useless nowadays. Look at the scorecard for what that motherfucker was doing in the past.
Yeah, dude.
Look where he
Coin
is now.
was good shit, man. Coin was
That's
cool as shit,
disrespect.
dude.
That is disrespectful.
This feels like a
but it's
deliberately
also true.
disrespectful answer, but I'll take it. I accept it nevertheless.
You're not
Oh,
wrong necessarily, but that's
yeah, but
incredibly
it's like
disrespectful.
saying memories. It was the way it was. You know what I'm saying? It was cool.
This motherfucker was the king of offense. He literally drove your entire game plan, and if he
Your mic keeps cutting out. Just thought you should know.
Oh.
I don't know.
I will say, like, come on, one of the kings of the R9, everybody at the top, it was like universally like you do a JML as one of your. I still did fleets because again, that's just bias for my game plan. But everybody said it universally is like JML is like your number one. I need to go R9 this, and then it's from there. It's like, well, LV is cool, but nobody disconnected that you weren't doing JML as like a top contender.
Yeah, JML. But to Fatal's point, JML used to be the PvP king for like a year. For people forget that he was what JMK was, what SLKR was, what Leia now is. Right? He was the you have a problem. I am the solution.
If you happen to drop that battle,
you were done, and you were done.
Yeah.
If you dropped.
Fair.
Oh yeah, the load.
Exactly
well, so we can get another question in. Sasha, how about you? Sorry. Who's your favorite character that's fallen into disuse? And if you're talking, you're on mute right now, Sasha.
He said he was driving, so
well, if he can't talk right now, we'll get his answer how we can later. All right, what's the next question here?
I was waiting for somebody to say that their favorite character is one they could use before their wife started complaining that they play the game too much.
And then you wanted to be like, oh, yeah, like, wow, you're such a weirdo, because that never happens to me.
Yeah. No, it does. It does. Dude, my family is like, God bless my family. They have scheduled their lives around this podcast. I'm not kidding.
I think we can all agree it's worth it.
Hopefully so.
I will say the next 5v5 season. Well, fuck this fucking Datacron. The next normal 5v5 season, probably, because it may not be this one or the next one. The theme is going to be the Return of the Jedi, because I've had gas modded to be a Jedi rather than a 501st for a while, but I still like. If I'm just looking at like becoming a more complete player, I think I need to limit test the Jedi. So I will be looking to do that. Possibly not in the next 4 months, but soon TM. Opportunity presenting.
All right, dig that. All right, I think that's it for questions, guys. Let's take it back around to takeaways and final thoughts. You have survived this season and the end of the lifetime of set 23. A lot of these crowns, particularly for the light side, can be replaced in the new set. So that's something to look forward to as we're grinding up our new Datacrons and conquests this week. But as far as lessons learned from this week to apply next time, yeah, the fleet stuff in particular will be, of course, immediately applicable. But I'll give some thought to what Sasha was saying. If it's more advantageous to just go for really pressing the attack with First Order Officer instead of Dre in your slacker counter to Pirate King, then I'll be looking into that.
It's really good if you're... Sorry, really quick. The First Order Officer thing is insanely good if they target your SOK and cooldown increase him, because you can swap immediately back to him.
Sure.
So you don't give up that first turn. So just to agree with Sasha there, I think that's super underrated.
That's fair. Other lessons for me? No, not really. Just panic farming here this week, and like I said, I have a separate video on my YouTube for that I just put out today, so check that out. But the short answer is get a little bit of everything, and then a lot of attacker level 6s if you can. Good luck rolling all the ones that you need. Dagger, what do you have to say? Takeaways and final thoughts wise.
Well, as the kids would say, I need to lock the fuck in. Otherwise, my takeaway from this 5v5 season is that almost everything else in my life was more interesting or entertaining than my GAC was. So I found just random things in my life to be distracting enough to not put effort in. And I don't know if that was the season itself or, like I said earlier, with the demotivation of all the things kind of coalescing within the game. But definitely need to figure out how to lock the fuck back in. It won't be this week because it's a holiday week here in the U.S. And it probably won't be next week because my oldest turned 16. So I don't know when that'll be, but hopefully hopefully before the new year, have a really busy December schedule. That being said, if you haven't played Expedition 33, I recommend it.
Yeah, you have been having a very good time. Good stuff there. All right, on to you, TJ. Your takeaways and final thoughts.
I'm going to keep it positive towards this Datacron set and getting back to some mechanics of getting to, I think, Theorycraft pretty well. For come next fives, I'm looking forward to being able to use this and the team of fives and where we're going to be at. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Okay, appreciate you. Sasha, if you're able to respond, I see your mic lighting up. What do you have takeaways and final thoughts wise? And you owe an answer to the people on your favorite disused character in GAC now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'll start, I guess, yeah, final thoughts is, change is always hard and kind of like traumatic. And like, obviously with Relic Delta, all the stuff coming in, it's a lot of turbulence and change. But I feel pretty good about how it's landing from a GAC. And even though they haven't invested in the format yet, like I said when we talked about sort of the current meta, I actually was enjoying it. I'm excited for the new Datacron set. I feel pretty good about the game. So like general positive sentiment, and we'll see where it goes from there. In terms of characters, let me reflect really quickly on that. Sorry, I'm driving, but I would say a character that I was convinced when it came out will always be like integral and never be kind of on the margins for me, but that I just am not using a lot is Jolie Bindo. And I just remember thinking like when that character came out, because so much of this is like, I don't know, like a resource management game. And I kind of look at it from like an economic perspective. And I'm like, that is a character that I may as well go ahead and invest in because my God, when am I not going to want a Jedi team? Like there'll always be Jedi teams and this guy can revive all Jedis. And he's more on the margins than I would have thought. Cause I always felt like, oh, that thing is, even though the character is not maybe my favorite. I think like in terms of like the source material for it was kind of fun and silly, but not necessarily sentimentally my favorite. But I just figured was always going to be core and sometimes just gets forgotten for me. So Jolie would be my one that is I'm surprised is an afterthought as often as he is.
That's a really good choice. I like that one. All right. On to you, Fatal. Your takeaways, final thoughts, last words for the folks at home.
Yeah, man. It's been only ramping up and getting more fun and seeming stronger along the way. Like I feel like I'm onto some major shit, and it's been a lot of fun to go through. And like, I don't even like it feels like just the tip of the iceberg, to be completely honest. It's just. Yeah, there is a part of me that is just like, I wonder if CG knew this whole time. And CG just thought we were lazy dumbasses. They were like, these motherfuckers didn't think Luminar or Datacron is good, or Omicron is good. It's like the best protection regen that entire faction has, and they think it sucks. These lazy pieces of shit, they just don't want to. Yeah, you're going to have to not press the protection up on sometimes to get your full banners back? Oh, you're just going to do a JML for 61 banners instead? Yeah, you got it, Chief. You're right. Yeah, JML sucks. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, it's just turned the entire game on its head. Things that seemed bad now seem good. Things that seemed unquestionable are now like, hyper fucking speculatable. It's just been good. It's just been fun. Obviously, the Coliseum stuff is super fucking unfortunate. I hope that it doesn't like drag the game down into oblivion, because otherwise, I am at the point with GAC right now where they could never like expand the border reward PvP, and I think I would still be having a good time at least until all this stuff plays out. Just because there is so much content to be mined there, and so much fodder to be had, and so much strategy to be had. It's just good. It's just been good. Like, I mean, Dagger talked some seasons ago about like, when you have a good read on a season, like it's easy to have a good time, and you just like, feel chill. You're just having fun, and like it's just been that for the last few months now, and I'm still riding that shit. So
That's awesome.
Dig that.
we will see. I intend within 4 months I should be rank 1. I'm gonna put that on myself.
Nice.
If I'm not,
Alright.
then I am fucking up.
We're looking forward to seeing that then. We'll see you soon. Are you going to be busy here during the off week? And if so, what are you going to be doing, and where can the people find you?
I was considering checking out Dispatch in the off week, but I'm not sure how long that game is going to be, and with the holiday shit as well, I'm like unsure if there's enough time.
I've heard
for
good
that.
things. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I've heard very good things. Like very solid, invincible tier, like just a good one of those. I think that'd be fun to check out, but also like, yeah, I haven't been practicing on 2SKO as much as I should have. I would like to start playing in tournaments for that, so I need to get my skills up.
Mhm.
Like,
And
took
if
matches
you're
off
going
the
to be doing
Grandmasters
any
today,
of
was
that,
cool.
where are you going to be?
Oh yeah. Twitch.tv/PlaybookTV, YouTube.com/theplaybook. I will announce it in my Discord if it happens.
Very good. For my own part, I'll be here through the weekend. I'll be here Monday, but from Tuesday on throughout the week, I'm going to be in Disney World with the family. So, wish us a good time. We'll be back. That means I don't think I'm streaming most of week 1. I might be able to get the 3rd round in when I'm back home for Sunday. But aside from that, you're probably going to miss me for the first couple of rounds. Otherwise, yeah, during the off week, I might have a chill stream or two here. And if I do, it's going to be here at twitch.tv/Tassenix, also simulcasting for my YouTube channel, Tassenix Gaming. By the way, thanks to my co-hosts here. Thanks to all of you who tuned in for this second ever live recording of Plotting and Scheming. These are fun to do with you guys. Question answer is great to get in at the end. And thank you to everyone, co-host and audience member alike. Anyway,
and before you do your end thing,
yeah,
if I find an opportunity to do something and still keep my testicles firmly attached to my body, I will do my best to stream something. Probably not this week because it's Thanksgiving, but next week I have a reasonably free week before I take. How did she put it? Before I take children to an island, but to be clear, they're my children, and that island is the Bahamas.
But you do have to specify these things. Yeah.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, yeah, I will also have a vacation the week after Tass, so maybe I will try to fill Tass's shoes while he's gone? ? I will see how my partner feels about that.
For sure. All right, yeah, I didn't think about it because I know you really haven't been streaming much the last couple of weeks, so fair.
And twitch.tv/DaggerMade7, youtube.com/DaggerMade7.
There you go. Check them out. Now proudly hosting 3 content creators on the Plotting and Scheming show. We'll get the others yet, I promise.
TJ Wen.
That's right. We'll get them yet. All right. So if you haven't been over to the YouTube channel, check it out. In addition to, previous episodes of this show, it's also got my Grand Arena streams with chapters added. We've got the mod guide series, starting up your mod collection all the way through advanced topics, mod guides on characters and factions you've asked about, videos like the GAC Omicron tier list, and then, of course, again, just today coming out the Datacron Set 25 list. So all that over there on YouTube. Anything you like over there, please give it a like. Hit subscribe to the channel to see more so really support the channel. That's the best thing you can do, that and following me on Twitch. If you want to go above and beyond the Call of Duty to support the stream, there are a few ways to do so. First is my Cash App. That is $Tassenix. Let's see if the commands work today. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I also have a PayPal, which is tassenix@gmail.com. And if you're interested in getting some advanced scouting power for your own Grand Arenas, like what you see me do on my streams, early access to my content, including plotting and scheming, and some other fringe benefits, you may be interested in checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/Tassenix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the Tass House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show. You know, this third episode is kind of our gift to the community, having it come out right on time for everybody, because we're all just wrapping up the season here. But our other episodes are usually available to the public 8 a.m. on Friday mornings. Patrons, however, get it as early as Monday night, depending on when we record. And so you'll have that early advantage heading into the start of the week. In addition, I will from time to time make patron-exclusive videos that you'll have at least a month before the general public. And of course, dedicated text and voice chat on Discord, where I am usually lurking. So pop on by and say hi. By the way, I am going to drop the link for my Discord there. I didn't drop that earlier. My bad. So, yeah, thank you so much to Andrew, Banja, Boba Isa, Deadpool Cow 28, JJ's Productions Twitch, Jobin4527, Miasmal, Mus Ross, Rays Malvis, Sam Vimes, Sheepdog47, Squed, Stark Strategy Gamer, White Wolf. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I use at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams, giving you those graphs that illustrate your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of the report with links that you can click going right back into swugga.gg or Insight, whichever you like to use, just helping you save more time on your scout. Alternatively, you might go for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is your #1 tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your TB, Grand Arena, TW, Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do with the powerful automation feature to comprehensively remod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, a whole bunch of good stuff there. Regardless, no wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to Aussie Mike, Darth Salea, Calidus Invictus, Esh Sotnikam, JJ's Dad, Frick Frack Paddywhack, I Am Arj, Mr. Tony, Shake23501, Single Malt Jedi, Snack Attack, Striker, Supermart, Troublefingers, and Zoltre. VIP Access Premium is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So, Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils, all for one bundle price. Going out and getting these bots anywhere else actually costs the same as this bundle with everything. So, that's why so many of my patrons say this is one of the best values in all of Swugga. Thank you so much to Argots, Bjorn, Big Ninja, Depressed Wampa, Duckstab, Darth Link, General Milan, Ibenek, Johnny B. Ottawa, Kev, Mini GK, Hills, Quig, Rawling, Saldag, Sir Boss, Sophus, Sprizzle, The Lost Womp Rat, Wilco, and Bane. At the top of the list in Jester's Club Elite, first, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper. This bad man pops in from time to time and just drops hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, carries hype trains. You know the man. He's been doing it for years. Thank you so much. And of course to Pills, who's also followed in these footsteps recently, showing up to streams, giving out 10, 20 subs here, up over 100 there. Incredible generosity, and I really appreciate the hell out of both of you guys. Thank you so much. Special thanks up to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons who's gone above and beyond, helping me optimize my OBS setup, getting my stream deck, working properly, just helping me out in the background, doing what I love to do here. So thank you. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's bringing me something to eat or drink while I'm stream here, or just keeping our daughter from tearing the house apart while I'm trying to be the very best, like no one ever was, at a phone game. And of course, again, to my co-hosts here on Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, as always, it has been my pleasure and privilege to record this show with you. 2+ years on, I look forward to it because I learn from you guys every week. Hopefully the feeling is occasionally the same, but regardless, it's not about us. It is about our listeners. And it is rare that a day goes by that I don't get some sort of feedback that something that we've talked about helps somebody win their match. So we're having the impact we wanted to have, guys. We're living the dream. Thank you guys for being available and making the show what it is. Wouldn't change a thing. Heading back on over to the main scene, we have finished up the episode, so let's make ready to raid you guys out. First, let's send you out on YouTube. Who's live? Is anybody live? Nope, nobody's live on YouTube, so I'm sorry. You guys are going to be unceremoniously cut off here in a moment, but let's see what happens over on Twitch. Is anybody live chatting about anything in particular? Okay. Well, there's looks like there's only one stream live that's speaking English right now, so I guess we'll send you in that direction. Speaks Spanish and English. Good. All right. This has been a lot of fun, guys, once again. Thank you all for showing out. And yeah, look forward to seeing you back next week for the preview episode going into Season 74, 3 versus 3, Grand Arena. Until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.